Back on Lake Mead, points mean everything now. This gentleman with a 169-point lead over the Budweiser, Chip Hanauer in the Miller American. He had a 269-point lead coming into this race, but already with a second-place finish in an earlier heat and a first-place finish for Jim Kraftfeld in the Budweiser, that point lead has been narrowed by 100 points. Let's take a look at the rundown now of the boats for 2B, the Bud, Miller American, Nevada Palace, Miss Marina, and the Miss Avia. And here they come down for the start of Heat 2B, a critical race between the Bud and the Miller for the National Points Championship. Budweiser and the Miller right on the button at the sound of the gun as they go down into the south turn here in the desert on Lake Mead, about 40 miles outside of Las Vegas, Nevada. The Budweiser screaming into that south turn, already going by the Miller American in lane number 2. Jim Kraftfeld out of Cincinnati. Jim looking for his second national title under the Budweiser colors. He did it a couple of years ago. Last year, of course, Chip Hanauer did so for the Miller team. And he's trying to win his second straight. But right now, he lacks a lot of power that he normally has. Something wrong, fuel starvation, you name it, with that Lycoming engine. But the Miller is really struggling for that boat speed that Chip Hanauer normally has. The Budweiser in first place. This could be a good lap for the Budweiser. Kraftfeld really screaming around the north turn now as he comes down the main straightaway in front of better than 50, 60,000 fans here on Monday afternoon. Many of them coming back after the delay yesterday with those high winds. Second place, Miller American, and first place to the Budweiser. Speed for the Bud. Yeah, he's picking them up. 135.5 miles per hour. 123 for the Miller American. Fastest speeds we have seen this weekend here on Lake Mead. It's still rather choppy, but nothing like yesterday. And of course, the choppier it is, it's better for this particular boat, the Miller American, but again, Chip doesn't have the power, and the Budweiser, normally known as a smooth water boat. This is a very heavy boat, the Miss Marina, currently in third place, the U-80, with Ron Armstrong aboard in its second race of 1986. The Budweiser coming around to complete lap number 2. Kraftfeld. Speed for the Budweiser still up there quite a way is 128.99, Colin 129. Third place is the Miss Marina Hotel Casino, based out of the Las Vegas area, the boat out of Long Beach, California. But the Budweiser in first place. Now, if Jim goes on to win this heat over Chip Hanauer and the Miller, that national point lead would be cut clear down to only 69 points. 69 points would separate those two going into the final, if the Budweiser can finish. And, of course, if Chip Hanauer can finish in second place and try to hold on to that narrow lead, and then everything goes on the table for that final heat. The run for the gold, the run for the national title. Kraftfeld, a winner of 2 races so far this year, winning in Miami, winning in Evansville in one of the most thrilling final heats we have seen in maybe a decade in unlimited hydroplane racing. The Miller, a winner of 5 races in Detroit, in Syracuse, in Madison, Seattle, and in Tri-Cities, Washington. Kraftfeld, you can see the oxygen mask, a lot of air under the boat. Well, we've seen that all year on this particular Budweiser model. Here comes the Miller American coming down. Speed for the Miller now up to 130 miles per hour, by far the best speed for the Miller all weekend, and including last weekend when they struggled so badly down in San Diego on the salt water. A big lead now for the Budweiser as you see the second place boat, Chip Hanauer out of Seattle. About a third of a straightaway lead for the Budweiser. Again, that very tough north turn. Still very choppy. We saw the Budweiser right in that area hooked very badly yesterday in an earlier heat. In fact, it came all the way around 90 degrees. Somehow, Kraftfeld was able to keep it running, find the ignition switch, and keep that turbine fired up. And he was able to finish. It was on the last lap, if you recall. Budweiser first place. Second place, the Miller American. This boat will be retired at the end of this season, at the end of this weekend for that matter, and a new Miller American boat waits in Seattle for the crew to get it ready for the 87 season, likewise for the Budweiser. A brand new boat is sitting in Seattle at their home base shop, and they will campaign it next year. Second place, the Miller American. Third place, the Miss Marina with Ron Armstrong. And fourth place, the Nevada Palace with Jerry Hopp out of Snohomish, Washington. The Budweiser running a little better now as it goes down the back chute. A different air intake system for this, the Miller American. In fact, that is the saltwater air intake system they were trying to use. Rather unorthodox, downright radical-looking air intake. Budweiser, again, having trouble as it cuts over the wake of one of the other boats, that being the Nevada Palace, Jerry Hopp. And here's the checkered flag waiting for the Budweiser. He has done it. He has cut the national point lead for the Miller down to only 69 points with a victory here. 400 points for the Budweiser and 300 to the Miller American. It's all coming down to the final. With an average speed of better than 129 miles per hour, the Budweiser, a perfect day so far, 800 points. The Miller, much improved in the speed department, 126.2. The Miss Marina, the Nevada Palace, also getting points. Unfortunately, the Miss Avia, unable to get started. Down to the pits.
Fast competitive speeds, the fastest of the week so far. And, of course, Chip Hanauer is now leading by only 69 points, Jim. What will that do for you in the final? Just go ahead of him, and that it?
Well, I have to finish ahead of him, and we have to be up at least third or fourth place or whatever. Probably about third place or better to then stay ahead.
You got a little squirrely there on the back chute with the green flag lap. What happened?
I don't know.
Did you feel it?
I guess I did. I don't know. I can't say.
All right, Bernie Little, you're a little anxious pacing this dock.
Yeah, I really am. Well, when you're out there running 135-mile-an-hour laps, that's faster than we qualified at. And Jim is a winner, and racing against Chip Hanauer, you got to run fast. And I know 7-Eleven is going to be in there for the final. It's going to be one whale of a final heat coming up in just a few minutes, Jim.
Okay, now let's go down to the Miller camp. Paul Lammy. Paul?
Chip, another heat under your belt. You still got 69 points on him. What's your strategy going to be from here on?
Well, just keep trying to improve the thing and see if we can beat him in the final.
How's the boat running?
Better. We're not there yet, but it's getting better.
It looked like you stayed right with him for most of the way. He was ahead of you, but he wasn't gaining very much on you, so it's working all right.
Well, no, it's not working all right, but it's getting better.
Everybody's hurrying. They moved up the timetable. This is Butch Kropfeld, Jim's brother, getting the windshield ready on the Bud. And we'll have the final very soon. North, a new hydroplane fan.